So what's up guys, in today's video I will be sharing with you my experiences during my second week on the phase 1 of my OJT in PTC Aviation Training Center. So during this week, it started in the date of 7th day of February 2022. So the topics discussed there was engineering drawings, diagrams and standards, and fits and clearances. So this day covers the topics engineering drawings and fits and clearances. So this gave us knowledge on how important drawings are and diagrams are the mechanics, because primarily this provides reference for us mechanics in order for us to work efficiently and more effectively. So drawings and diagrams provide reference for whatever component or system that is being maintained or repaired or even overhauled. So it enables mechanics to view a certain component or system part by part in order for him or her to work more efficiently and effectively. So the second topic is fits and clearances. This topic covers the importance of allowances, which can be shaft-based or hole-based, wherein in shaft-based the shaft is constant and we vary in the size of the hole, and hole-based is the hole is constant and we vary in the size of the shaft. So it also covered the different types of fits, in which we have interference, clearance, and transition fit. So the 8th day of February 2022, we discussed pipes and hoses and material handling. So during the discussion of pipes and hoses, we had a different instructor. His name is Sir Bert. I think he works in Lufthansa Technique Philippines or in Shaib, I think. I can't recall. So during this discussion, I learned a lot. Sir Bert provided us with very important information regarding pipes and hoses, the installation and assembly and disassembly of the pipes and hoses. So he provided us with videos in order for us to understand further the techniques and importance of proper installation, assembly, and disassembly of pipes and hoses. So as I recall, it covers there what to check in pipes and hoses, such as we need to check for leaks and bending, twisting, not bending, kinking of the tubes, and the proper allowances for pipes and hoses. So the second topic discussed this day on February 8th was the material handling. it discussed how to properly handle materials such as sheet metal. This covers the process of marking out after acquiring the necessary dimensions, bending the material, and cutting the material. This also includes the allowances. So the process of marking out is used with a scriber. So a scriber is used to create markings on metal surfaces, wherein these markings must only be for cutting or boundary lines only. Because if some of these marks are left behind, it may cause cracks on the surfaces being worked on. So, on the 9th day of February, the topics discussed were riveting riveting procedures. So this day, we also had a different instructor. So her name is Miss Tanya. So I've also learned a lot in this day, because I think it gets my attention when it comes to things like this, especially riveting. Because for me, it's very interesting because it's fun to do. Well, of course, safety is always there. It's fun, but you must always be safe. So, anyway, this topic covers the tools, materials, and techniques when mechanics are riveting. It taught us the different rivets being used, which the aircraft may benefit from, depending on the type of rivet head or rivet being installed on a certain part of the aircraft. So the topic also introduced different methods of countersinking to fit a countersunk rivet. So we have cup countersunk, wherein we use a countersinking tool, or such as a microstop. We have dimple countersinking, wherein we have a male and female, or by squeeze dimpling tools. Squeeze dimpling, or spin dimpling, or hot dimpling, or coin dimpling, in other words. So as mentioned, this topic also covers the different tools and tools that are being used when riveting, such as riveting guns, riveting gun sets, wherein we have the universal and countersink, cleco pliers and cleco fasteners to temporarily fasten and align two plates from a drilled hole. Locking bars, of course, and it also discussed the different damages when you rivet the plate wrong. On the 10th day of February, we discussed the topics aircraft handling and storage, and partial discussion of disassembly, inspection, and assembly techniques. So, aircraft handling, the topic aircraft handling just covers basically how and what we do to an aircraft when being stored in a hangar or inside or outside So this topic includes the precautions needed when storing an aircraft. This includes taxiing, prevention of contact from one aircraft to another or other structures, proper marshalling, which may vary depending on the company, aircraft towing, aircraft jacking, where there are specific points on an aircraft to be jacked, aircraft lifting, mooring, and locking of control surfaces, tying down an aircraft, chocking the aircraft wheels, refueling and defueling procedures, and aircraft ground servicing equipments. So these are all necessary if an aircraft is being grounded in order for the aircraft to not be damaged, and in order for other mechanics or workers or people around that aircraft to be safe and not be injured because of improper storage of the aircraft. So most of the time, the openings of certain aircraft must be covered with plugs or blanking caps, such as the engine inlet, the exhaust, pitot tubes, static ports, etc. So next we have the 11th day of February, our second week of phase 1 in PPC. We discussed the disassembly, inspection and assembly techniques. So this discusses the various defects on different parts of an aircraft, which includes control system components, where we check for the correct alignment, freedom of movement, evidence of damage or evidence of wear, defects on electrical components, where we can check for cleanliness, obvious damage, evidence of overheating, evidence, corrosion, security of attachments, etc. We also check the aircraft for external damage in the inlets and exhausts, checking on liquid systems for leaks, checking for tire pressure, wear or damage, inspection of the brake systems, and etc. So the next topic is maintenance procedures for the 11th day of February. This topic discusses on how maintenance is being performed on an aircraft. So initial planning of the maintenance allows the mechanics to work more effectively and efficiently, where all the necessary maintenance complies with airworthiness directives, service bulletins, and etc. So when maintaining an aircraft, the maintenance being performed must be in compliance with the airworthiness directives, because that is important, and service bulletins. So I think, according to my memory, service bulletins are not mandatory, so the operator can choose whether or not to comply with the service bulletin. So that's all for our week 2 PPC, still purely online. That's all. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something despite the very fast video. Thank you.